If you're an OnlyFans creator struggling with Instagram growth, these right here are going to dig you out of that desperate hole of despair. In today's video, I'm going to go over what these types of video are, how you can actually set them up yourself and use them, and how you test them. Make sure you've watched my previous video about the concept content wheel, because a lot of this won't make sense if you haven't. So go and watch that first and come back. If you don't know who I am already, my name is Dylan. I help creators like yourself solve everyday issues and super succeed with your Instagram growth. So what are these on my lovely whiteboard here? These are types of video that you can make for your Instagram. So skits, Omegle, Snapchat, reaction, token ends, podcast, social hack, challenges, long form clips, text to speech, dance trends, text hooks, duo skits. I'm going to go over what these actually are and explain them. So how do you actually go about picking the ones that you want to film? So you've first got to figure out if you can actually film them. Ask yourself, have you got the equipment? So for example, equipment, a big one is Omegle. On Omegle, you're going to need two devices. One to actually record the screen off. So I like to do a laptop. And then you have to actually record the screen so you can get their face and your face. And then you need another device recording your face that you're then going to overlap to get a higher quality picture of yourself. So laptop, phone. Podcast, you can actually need some sort of decent setup so it looks like you're on a podcast. So people can get that familiar picture of, shit, this is a podcast. Another thing to do with podcast, have you got a microphone? That's another thing that's going to make it look like a set. Another thing is software. With Omegle, if you're recording off a laptop, you're going to need some sort of software to be able to record it. Another thing you're going to need some sort of software for, long form clips. If you are streaming, you're going to need streaming software, obviously. And you're going to need it to be clipped. So keep that in mind. Another thing you've got to be aware of is, have you got a cameraman? Because something like duo skits, you're obviously not going to be able to do, because if you haven't got a cameraman or someone else to be the reels, then it's done. You can't do it. Even though it might appeal to you, you can't film it. So keep that in mind. We'll just jump straight into it. Skits. What is a skit? A skit is just like a fake scenario made in either a funny way, a sad way, it doesn't really matter. It's just a fake scenario, which, in my opinion, is best. I love skits. It's something I always try to include because they're funny, but they convert as well. You can set them up in so many different ways. They're just fantastic. Really, really good one to pick. But more than likely, if you're going to get the most out of them, you're going to need a cameraman and actually good scripting for them. But if you can nail down skits, then you're on a winner. Good one. Really good one. Omegle. What is Omegle? Omegle, the actual website itself, is shut down. But there are spin-off websites that you can use. And that's all it is. It's basically a random chat roulette video call website where you randomly chat to people face to face. The reason Omegle is good is because you get people's reactions. So you can say something baity for the hook, and then they give a payoff by saying something funny. And it works really, really, really well. But you've obviously got to say the right things to get the right reactions. But this works really well. You just need software, recording, and good editing. And then as long as you do that, superb. And you can do this one solo as well. That's another reason it's good for some of you people who haven't got people to actually film for you. If you're a bit nervous to do public street interviews as well, that's another good replacement, because public interviews always a really, really good vertical to use. If you're afraid to go out in public, use this. Next one, Snapchat. What is Snapchat? Snapchat is essentially just psychologically playing on people's nosiness, because as if they're looking at something they shouldn't be looking at, and they're being nosy. So it's like random events caught on camera of yourself, basically. You obviously need a cameraman for this, because it's got to look as if you're not even involved in the video. So you could be doing something from afar that's quite weird, and you're caught on camera doing it. And obviously people are nosy, that hooks their attention, and then they might find it funny. And yeah, to be honest, it's a pretty good vertical, but it's not a very big converter. It's a bit slower, but it can get really good views. And obviously if you can get views and they go onto your page, and then they then see your converters, they're going to convert over. So it's good for getting views. You need a cameraman, so this is a 2-man job minimum. Next up is reaction. People like watching people react to stuff. It's another weird thing that is quite hard to believe. I like watching people react to stuff myself. But that's all you're doing, is reacting to already viral videos and just giving your insight on it, or doing some sort of weird spin. You don't even have to be in the camera to start with. You can just show the viral clip. So It's obviously viral. It's going to go viral anyway, and you give your insight at the end. That is quite an easy one to do from home. You've only got to scroll for a few minutes and you can find some really viral clips and you can just go ahead and react to them. You can bulk create loads of stuff like this, and it's really easy to do solo. Another one to use is a podcast. People love watching podcasts. So that's all you've got to do is make a fake set or a real one. Say you actually wanted to make your own podcast, you could, and clip it up for reels. This is good because you can discuss some really, funny topics, even some borderline sexual topics, and I guess people convert in. You could sit yourself in, some nice little poses. Camilla is a really good one to watch for that because she sits like, I'm not going to explain it, she sits up the leg on the chair and she's a camel toe basically. That converts because people are like, oh, why is she actually sitting like that for one? And it's obviously quite a sexual position to sit in, so people like it. With podcasts, you've obviously got to have a microphone set up, you've got to have a nice set location that looks quite aesthetic and good video quality. But as long as you've got good audio, good video quality, good set, and good topics to actually speak about, you'll do well with that. But you will need multiple people, or you're just going to have to pretend as if you're speaking to someone. You could do that. That does work as well. Right, moving on. Social hack. What is a social hack? Or social hacking? Social hacking is essentially just pretending that you are speaking to someone who's famous. For example, who's a popular streamer right now? I don't know, Speed. Say he's sat on his set, speaking, and then he's speaking to someone. You could swap out the person he's speaking to and insert yourself. So then that gives you some sort of social presence and social confirmation. This does actually work really well, as you can imagine, because people already recognise these people. It's familiar to them. And people will tend to engage with stuff like that, even if it is fake. And the majority of people ain't going to tell anyway. It is a really good one to add. You obviously need to be able to edit correctly. You've got to be able to find the correct clips. But if you do, it could work really, really well for you. You can do this solo. Another good point for all you solo creators out there. Challenges. I love challenges. I find them really, really engaging. And you can get really good conversions off these, especially if in your forfeits you use food and messy stuff. People love stuff like that. For example, you could use cream, beans, gunge. People love it, and the customer requests you'll get from this are crazy, and the money you could make if you're actually willing to do it, you could make a serious amount. How can you actually do these? So you can do stuff like spin the wheel. You can do forfeits. For example, if I do not get this pen in the mug, I'm going to do a forfeit. And then you spin the wheel or pick a forfeit of the hat. Oh no, I've got to cover myself in beans. Uh-oh. Boom. This one is really, really good. And you can film this solo. You can film this duo. Long form clips. So what is this? This is something you could do if you were streaming. So if you're on Twitch, Kick, it's just simply clipping up bits of your stream. Here's a little secret. Long form is more than likely eventually going to overtake all the short form stuff. It's a way real creators can stand out. Obviously, with the rise of AI and the actual quality of the content is just getting better and better, they are just going to be able to completely outcompete every person within the space. It's quite sad, really, but it's the way it's going unless some sort of law gets implemented that stops, yeah. But they're just going to be able to create better and better content. So how can you stand out? Long form. And you're actually creating stuff like YouTube videos and streaming. Because the AI at the minute, it'll eventually get there, but this is the way you can set yourself in front for the time being. But yeah, that's all you're doing is clipping up parts of your stream. You can set your stream up in ways for clips. It's really good, especially if you've got the time. You can either do this solo or with other people. You're in the public as well. Doesn't really matter, but yeah. Pretty good, and for the future as well. Separate yourself from AI. Text to speech, another streaming one. You don't have to do this on stream. You could do this fake. That's all it is when you could donate it to on something like Twitch, and then you've got text to speech on, it'll just read out the message. So that's all you do is play the message and respond to it. The message should be something that is a bit crazy and a bit out there. But then you would obviously respond in a funny way. You've got your hook and you've got your payoff. You've got a good video. And you could film this solo too. That's all you need is to be able to edit for one. And I would recommend a good setup. a good clean camera quality, nice audio, and a good setup, you'll be set. Dance trends. Everyone knows dance trends. Safe for TikTok, so as long as you're obviously wearing the right attire. Dance trends, always really good, especially if you can't dance. If you can't dance, just dance as bad as you possibly can. That's the only advice I've got for that. For dance trends, always work. I'd use them more as a supplement to some of your bigger ones. You can also do them in converting ways as well, so they can be converted as not just viral, but yeah, still really good. Still would do them. Text hooks. For text hooks, write them in weird. Audio, if you've got a good sound, that also amplifies it, but the hook is in the text. I know one going viral at the minute is pretending to be bracked from behind, and you've got the sound effect going, if you know what I mean, and there's some weird text caption over the top. And that's all you're doing, is hooking people in with the text. My favourite of them all, duo skits. I just find these go the most viral and they convert heavy. These are just skits, but filmed with two people. The way I like to set them up, obviously you don't have to do this, is if it's a real scenario and it's an embarrassing scenario. You don't have to be the one who's getting embarrassed. The person in the camera can do that themselves. Like when I film reels and I'm in them myself, I'm normally the one getting embarrassed. But they just perform so well. You've got someone who's willing to film these with you, do them. Just get a good format. The best people to watch for stuff like this is Churdley's. His stuff is phenomenal. I'd say he's the best at it. It is really, really, really good content. Like obviously be original and think of your own stuff, but if you want inspiration, use this page. It is incredible. So now you know how to split test. Now you know what the videos are to split test. Go and split test. Go and find out what works for you. And I guarantee you're going to see results and you're going to see a massive difference. If you are confused with any stuff like this, you can either drop a comment or give me a text on Instagram. That's down in the description, or I can pop it up on screen somewhere. But apart from that, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one.